Welcome into BVarsity Live. This is April 30th. It's in April already. I'm Zach Ewing along with Trevor Horn, and that means the school year's almost up, and we finally knocked one off of the 2014-15 bucket list, and we got Morganne Hill in the studio.
No, we've had Morganne in.
This year?
Yeah, we had her during the fall.
Did we?
When you and
that seems like a
Anastasia,
long
You don't
time
even
ago.
remember?
Yeah, her and Anastasia Julius came in during
oh,
the
that's
season.
right. I have to
Anastasia was
say-
talking about, we were talking about her kind of cross-country season.
That's
but
right.
More
Yeah.
so
That's right, and your
her
recruiting season.
Yes.
I missed you so much, it seems like it had been longer than
I
that. That's
know,
all it
it's
is.
been
That's all it
forever.
is.
Well, you don't cover enough track
Well,
and
and
field, that's
plus
why.
you were in like 7 times last year, I think, so.
What? And you still? Please tell me you're not tired of me already.
No, I'm not. That's why I'm
Okay.
saying we needed to get you back in.
Moved
there.
to Washington
And she is
already.
joined by Isaac
Thanks.
Trevino of Centennial. Morgan, of course, as we know, is senior at Liberty, who runs the hurdles faster than anybody, and Isaac Trevino of Centennial, who runs the 800 faster than anybody.
in the state.
So we've got
Rocking it.
quite a bit of talent in the studio here, and then there's Trevor, and he's here
Trevor,
too.
The man.
Show him your Muppet mug over there, so you feel special. There you go.
The
There
best
it is.
thing ever.
Thank you, Jenna.
Okay, so we're going to talk some track, obviously. And this is it, guys. You got, like, what, 1 league meet left, and then we're into it.
And then it's area, Valley, State. Boom.
And I know that you've been through it before, obviously, but this is senior year. Is the feeling different? I mean, are the emotions starting to swell up there?
It's about to say I'm super excited. Like, I mean, of course, like everyone gets emotional about it. You have your crying moments here and there, but in the end, you're just like, you know what? This is great. I'm ready to get out of here and just be done.
May
It's
of
honestly like we're just trucking downhill right now.
Seriously, May of senior year, like I still remember it. It feels like it's totally different. You don't even do anything.
Yeah,
you're,
but
like, you're going to get prom tickets one day, and you're like you got graduation rehearsal one day. It's like you don't even go to class.
In
Except for
Bakersfield,
finals.
California, graduation practice is like a hot box. Like you're just literally sitting there in the sun, like help us.
Wow.
I'm not.
It's your final obstacle.
Yeah, but the end of senior year is a lot different for guys like you and myself, whereas these two are gearing up for the biggest stage, a week before graduation.
Yeah.
And you guys, so, I mean, there may be letting down in personal life and maybe some schoolwork because they're getting close to it, but, I mean, your workouts are just as hard as anything else.
Isaac, what are you feeling, my man?
I mean,
Get close to that mic, Isaac. Make it your friend.
I'm pretty much just looking forward to everything. I mean, track is kind of my life. I mean, that's what I do, and the longer that extends, which hopefully into college, and I'm just excited to move forward, move on to that next level.
Right, so
yeah.
How was Alabama last weekend?
It was extremely beautiful, green everywhere, and it was nice to actually see a place that didn't have a drought issue. I think it rained like twice while I was there within like 3 days.
Wow,
So
you're
it was
rocking
nice.
the Roll Tide T-shirt I see, so it must have gone well.
Yeah, it went really well. This is something to pick up. It's a nice shirt,
Yeah.
so you know.
Very cool.
Looking snazzy.
And Morgan, of course, we know is signed with Washington since the last time we talked to her.
Things have changed.
What stuck out to you about Seattle? I know you probably told this story 100 times, but
no, it's okay. I love telling it because they deserve credit and whatnot. But it's hard on like visits to really try to take everything into account because it's going to be your new home. So going there, I mean, the first night we got there, I mean, we went to this amazing steakhouse where one of the track athletes actually was a waitress at, and a coach took us there and like it's like whatever you're ordering, I'm getting that too. And I was like, okay, totally in love with this guy. He's the coolest person, and I honestly just felt like I could not leave him behind. I was like, this guy is like, he is it. Like, this is the coach I've been wanting. And so he met all the criteria and like even more. And then just, if you've ever been to Seattle, like you don't want to leave.
Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt about
especially
that.
when you come from Bakersfield and it rains not twice a week, but more like 6 times a week, and 7 most of the time. But
Morgan,
and
you're slipping farther and farther away from that
am I
mic.
okay? Can you hear me? We're good. Sorry about that,
we were
folks.
okay.
We're good?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're good.
Well, anyway, so just going there and meeting the team, meeting the coach, it was just such like a assurance. Sorry, I could not get that out. But it was really good for me to see that because it was just like family right off the bat. And I was like, these are the people like I want to be with for the next 4 years. And it was just, that really comforting thought to know like I would be totally fine, moving a state away and being with those people because I felt secure there. And so like at the end I was like, this is the one for me.
So there's because I always wonder about this. I obviously, not being an elite athlete, did not have these trips, but you do go through. I did visit a couple of different colleges, and it's hard to separate. I mean, they all put their best foot forward, and they all make themselves look good. And is there really a difference? I mean, there was that big of a difference though, to where you could say that's it.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, every coach in school will do that to you, where they just like, we're this, we're that. You know, you get all that kind of vibe, but you know, in between the trips, spending 2 days with them, you really start to see who they are, whether they know it or not. And like, the thing about Coach Sheen, my coach for UW, he was just so consistent and just the sweetest guy. And he'd always check in on me. He'd call me and check in on me throughout the process. And he was just a coach I could tell really cared. Like, I didn't get that kind of attention from other coaches, although they were great. But he was just someone who genuinely cared about who I was and how I was doing. And not like, how's your season going? How's this, all that? He wasn't too caught up in that, but how I was just doing as me, just Morgan, not like the track athlete.
Right.
So, and that's just something I felt was so important to me, because that's what I get from Renz. That's what I've just found so unique about Renz, is that he's just, you know, a coach that cares.
Go Broncos.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You know what?
Ryan
Yeah, go
Renz
Broncos. You
ran
got to
track
say it
at
for
Boise
coach.
State, where I
didn't
went
know
to
that.
college.
Yeah.
So go
Okay.
Broncos. Anytime I can throw that in there, I will. I'm
Nobody
sorry.
knows anything about Boise State. It's in the middle of nowhere. Isaac, where else have you visited?
That's about it. Just Alabama was
Okay.
my first visit.
So you
and
don't have a comparison yet.
Not
Yeah.
at all. And it kind of, I will say, it doesn't really help other colleges that I did go to the biggest football program, and
Right.
that's a little tough. It is an SEC school, but I really liked it. It's we'll see how far it takes me, but.
Yes, Morgan, we have a moth problem here at the Bakersfield.
Okay, well, it's been happening lately. You know, it's because we had a mild winter.
Bakersfield
So-
has a moth problem, period, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not-
Yeah, they
it's
show
not
up out
dead.
of nowhere, but I save them all the time.
Isaac,
Like my daughter.
I love it.
She
I
sees a
literally
moth
just
and
pick
she-
them up. Oh,
Any
my.
insect, a moth or a grasshopper, is automatically cutie.
You know, I actually
Bye,
used to have like
cutie.
a care facility for bugs when I was younger. Like, I had to purposely injure them so that I could take care of them. Is that signs that I'm a
Florence Nightingale
psychopath?
or something.
Little twist.
I honestly think
it's a little
so.
narcissistic, actually.
Well, we're not going to tell anyone this because I don't have
You
issues
just
or
kind of
anything.
did.
Okay, well, we're going to take it back.
You are looking live. No, I'm just kidding.
There it
Hi,
is.
cutie.
Yeah, exactly. So, about track, you guys have both had great seasons. Trevor,
Thank
tell
you.
us, kind of give us a lowdown on times and stuff if you have that.
Morgan, you are what, fifth in the state right now, 4.223
Yeah.
in the 300 hurdles, which you ran at Arcadia 2 weeks ago. Isaac, you had a great running. You ran a little upset there at Arcadia. We'll get in that a little
got
bit.
cheated.
And then a week later, you ran the top time in the state at the Mount Sac Relays, a 1:51.51 if I'm
that's right.
correct in the 800. And Morgan, you are I think 10th in the state right now in the
I think
100
so,
hurdles
yep.
at 14:70. Am I right?
No. I think it's a 13.99 is what I ran at
13.99.
Arcadia.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to say
At Arcadia.
14.70. I
You're
apologize.
good. It's
But yeah, so you ran that 13.99 at Arcadia.
Yeah.
About an hour ish before we were down there. We have
Yes.
video of that. So Chris, if we want to show that, we could show Morgan running the 300 hurdles. Now Morgan, for you it's one of those things where, and I was talking to Eric from Dystat, and he says the biggest thing for you this season is the fact that everybody else at elite, you got Journey Woodward up at Vacaville, you got the girls down at Roosevelt,
Right.
and the biggest thing for you is you're running at Memorial Stadium much more often than they are.
Yeah.
And that competition, here you are coming down the stretch where you're running the 4.223
Right.
there at Arcadia. But do you feel like that is an advantage for you because you're getting used to the track, used to the wind, used to whatever
Well,
it is, the
yeah.
elements at Buchanan?
Well, I
than
would
they
say
are?
so, and it's not only that, but it's just training in because usually at that time it's pretty warm around that time of year, and so I think training in Bakersfield it has its benefits, although many people would disagree. But
Chris, cut.
being in that environment, yeah, you get used to elements like you said. The wind, it's a very hard thing to adjust to, especially when you need to have a perfectly marked out race especially for 300 hurdles. Your steps have to be exactly on, and so it's kind of it's definitely helpful. Although it's not like a huge factor, I just would consider it very helpful.
Yeah.
One of the impressive things we
I
talked
gotta
about
get cutie out of here
that
some way.
that 300 hurdles race at Arcadia, Morgan, was you're running in lane 8, right?
Yeah.
Which
Yep.
is unusual for you. Did that make a big difference?
It kind of made me mad. I was like, seriously, like 6th time in the nation, they put me in lane 8. I was like, fine, you know what? Let's just say no one's really scared about me at this point. You look at lane 8, you're not worried about lane 8.
Right.
You're just like, okay, just someone else that's on the track with me. So it was like kind of just my moment to shine. And like throughout the race, everyone's looking at lanes like, what, 4 and 5? And then, you just kind of come out of nowhere, and that's fun for the crowd. It was definitely fun for me. Terrifying, but fun. And so, I mean, just definitely listed a little spark in my heart. I was like, okay, this is
Well, not just
great.
that. An hour later, when the sun's beating down, you're in lane 9 in the 100, and you're literally a foot away from the fence.
From the barrier, yeah.
From the barrier.
My family
and that
could
was the
barely
other
see me
thing.
from the
And you were in the
stands,
first of 2 heats.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like if you were in that first heat against Journey and remind me of the girl that down at Roosevelt that's running a 13:21?
He's got my keys.
Oh,
He's having
Lewis
fun.
is going to go riding in the Range Rover later.
Later, folks. You like the
So,
puffball?
do you feel like you could have ran a better than a 13:99
I
if
think
you
I
were in
would
that
have been
field
able to.
and you weren't right up right
Right.
next to the barrier?
Well, because, yeah, if you think about it, for some reason, it's strange how I do this, but I do well against the biggest competition.
What is?
I just adjust well. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
all you
right
did
now we're
there-
adjusting to-
Lewis, all you did there was cut Isaac out of the shot,
Goofball
and that's
here.
rude.
Isn't it so cute, though? Everyone's so creeped out
Throw it
by
to
it.
me.
Right.
Throw it to me.
Is that like a Furby?
Lewis? Just
It
throw it
is.
over here to it.
I got-
Oh my gosh. This is what we do, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, hold on.
Isaac, move around so he can't take you out of the shot.
He's having too much fun with my keychain.
This is our leader. by
Isaac
the
is
way.
not only the fastest 800 runner in the state, but he's also the most purple and fuzzy.
Morgan,
Yeah.
evidently you were never going to have photos of me.
On my
Taking
phone?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a selfie. y'all.
This is terrifying.
This is the most interesting thing I've seen all day.
We are careening off the rails right now.
Possibly all week.
Yes.
All right. All right. So I want to get into Isaac for a little bit before.
Yeah, speaking of getting mad about stuff at Arcadia, or feeling slighted, I should say, maybe not. I don't know that you were actually angry, but describe
No, he
your-
was mad. Were you mad? You were mad.
Yeah.
He was mad. Don't.
Okay,
I
I
wouldn't
won't
sugarcoat
understate
this.
it then. Yeah.
And if I was in Isaac's position, I would have been mad too. The simple
Yeah.
fact that going into Arcadia, Isaac had the number 4 time in the state, 800, and they still put him in the open division in the middle of the day when he was 85 degrees in Arcadia, and he didn't have the opportunity to run against Arturo Sotomayor, didn't have a chance to run against the kid from Meridian, Idaho. And basically, just Chris, if we show the video, I mean, you could see coming down the stretch, Isaac just blew them away, and for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, I did run 154.6 at the very beginning of the season, first race of the year, to make Arcadia specifically, because last year 154 gets you into the Invitational, and that I thought I put in the work. I thought a number 3 time in the nation at the time, and then top 10 in the state at the time would have gotten me into the biggest meet in the state. But I mean, as you can tell, I let it fuel my fire, and I did what had to be done and what I knew I could do, and I think I proved a point.
Oh, yeah.
And did what everyone expected of me that knew my physical ability and what I could do.
Yeah, I think one thing that maybe this teaches you guys about state, not that you don't know it already, but those prelims are important. You want to
Yeah.
get into the right lane, you want to get into the right heat and that sort of thing. That Friday day, a lot of people say it's just about getting through, but that's not always the case.
Yeah.
Definitely not. I mean, it is. Obviously, you don't get through.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's obviously number one,
but that being in the right position helps. Being in a laned event and you're in lane 8 isn't ideal, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 800, it's
Less
not so
important,
crucial. But you don't want to be in lane 9 and you don't want to be in lane 1 because
No.
you're running either with everyone behind you and you don't know what's happening, or you're running from way behind
Or you
and
push
you
yourself
feel
too
like you're
hard.
making up too much ground and you die too early.
Yeah, yeah. Isaac, you're you really sort of burst onto the scene last year as an 800 runner. How much different has this year been now that you're sort of established coming in?
It's been a lot more about doing what I know needs to be done when it needs to be done. Last year, I was, hey, if I'm racing Blake, I'll pull out a great time. And I didn't pull out any great times against Blake because he was Blake Haney. And that dictates the race in a certain type of way, usually in his favor. But I knew what needed to be done. I know going into Arcadia, I need to run a fast time. Going into Mountain Sac, I need to run a fast time. And it just mentally prepares you for that next level already knowing that you can compete at that level with state under your belt.
Your coach at Centennial, Vondre Armour, still holds the section record in the 800. Is that helpful, or is that, all right, coach, I know I could do better, sort of, he's always on your back?
No, it's very,
I'm
very
sure it's
helpful,
but yeah.
Yeah, he does, poke a little fun around, like, oh, maybe you could take down my mark. And that's something we're definitely striving to achieve. And I couldn't ask for anyone other than the central section record holder himself.
Zach, have you seen Vondre lately? He looks like he could still.
Oh, he always
go
has.
Against
He always has.
I mean, it's
He's
incredible.
still intimidating. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's told me he's going to race me one time before I go to college. So.
Hasn't happened
I'll
yet?
be there.
Not yet.
I
I
want
want
to be
tickets. Front row.
Yeah, seriously, when is this happening? We need to.
No, really.
This is a
I'll
BVarsity broadcast. Do you hear that, Lewis? Vondre and Isaac are going to race before the end of the year. Yeah, I bet you blow them away. Not.
Every time.
Yeah.
Turn that
Hands
mic
down.
on so we can actually hear
Okay,
you.
we've got to take our first break. We're going to be back. More Morganne Hill and Isaac Trevino on BVarsity Live right after this.